Oh, lost again!
Welcome back to the Hobbit walkthrough, everybody. This is Chapter 5, Riddles in the Dark.
Thank the elves for this glowing blade.
To start things off, we have an extremely rare enemy, the fire bat. There are only 3 of these in the entire game, and they all appear here. In my experiments with the 4th chapter of this game, I found a way to block attacks. If you hold the stick or sting and move backwards as an attack hits you, it won't damage you. So to kill the first 2 fire bats, I like to try to block their first attacks, and then auto-target them, and then throw rocks at them. Then you can just throw a rock at the 3rd fire bat. There's no need to block its attack first. Next, we come upon a nest of wereworms. I like to jump attack the first one, and then kill the other 3 at this hole before they pop up. The reason I'm jumping up and down is so that I can see the yellow triangle that indicates an enemy's presence. At this point, you should have... Jump across the blue web rope to the other side, and grab the pink courage point, the health potion, and the antidote potion there. Next, head down into the hole. Be aware that once the blue web rope breaks, it won't reappear. After you get to the bottom, jump attack when you first see the spiders appear, and if you do it right, you should be able to take them all out with a single jump attack.
These webs look thick.
Then, going in a counterclockwise direction, cut the webs with sting and jump attack with the stick when you first see the spiders. These are called lesser spiders. Don't forget to break any pods you find along the way. The lesser spiders only take 1 hit to kill, so if you miss them with the jump attack, you can just strike them with the stick. Behind the next web is a green spider, known as a dread spider. This spider will poison you if it bites you, so I like to throw a rock at this one to kill it. When you cut the next web, a dread spider will drop down, along with a regular lesser spider. The dread spider is your priority if you miss with the jump attack. For this next web, it's harder to get all the spiders with the jump attack, so be ready to use the regular stick attack instead. After you jump attack the first set of spiders here, wait for your jump attack meter to refill. Then, back up into the door, and as soon as you see the spiders spawn, jump attack.
Locked. Find another way round.
If you do it correctly, you should be able to take out the second set of spiders with a single jump attack. Then, grab any mushrooms you might need, and break any pods you might have missed, and head up the web rope to the next area. Back here, there is a brown giant spider. This spider should fall easily to a jump attack and a couple of sword swings. Also, don't forget to break the pod back here. There's one more pod over here. Then, head on through, grab the antidote potion, and jump across the web ropes. Now, we have successfully found a way around the locked gate from earlier. At this point, you should have...
A dwarf! Hello, I'm Bilbo Baggins, at your service.
I am Balfor of the Iron Hills. I am grateful for your service, but freeing me would take the service of 100 dwarves, or 1,000 elves.
Or one burglar.
Very well. Go down into the mines and find a large gate. Bribe Ugslap the guard and he'll open it. When you get through that gate, climb up to the jail. That's where they take me when I finish my work on the mining contraptions. Free me, and I will help you escape. Bribe the guard at the main gate. Free me from the goblin jail and I'll help you escape.
Get back to work, dwarf!
On the left, there are some crates. You can break the cracked ones by hitting them, so break all of the cracked ones, and then head down into the mines.
What's that noise? Goblins!
Here, don't take the ladder down. Instead, drop into the crevice and get behind the boxes. I like to take out the wereworms from here first. Be wary of any explosives the goblin miners throw your way. After the wereworms are down, take out each goblin miner with a jump attack and a couple of sword swings.
Slash it and bosh it! Yeah.
Try to engage only one goblin at a time, and remember to back up when they attack to block their attacks.
Must be the gate I need.
Before you do anything else, head over to the right and break the 2 cracked crates to get the items inside them. Once you grab the 3 blue courage points by the lift, you should have...
What an odd-looking contraption.
Jump onto the lift, ride it around to grab the green courage point at the top, and then jump off again. This next part is optional. If you jump onto this wooden platform and follow the wooden platforms and the lift around, you'll find a breakable crate with a health potion at the end of the path. Alternatively, you can just head down the lifts the normal way. However, for the purposes of this guide, I felt I should show where the breakable box with the health potion is. When you come back, jump onto the rock below to minimize fall damage. Alternatively, you could go back and try to jump for the lift, but I find this to be the easiest way down. Next, head to the wooden platform. The goblins seem to have a hard time getting to you here. Your goal is to get the goblin guard, that's the one with the shield, to be aggressive towards you, and then you can take him out with rocks. He will be more dangerous at close range than the goblin miners.
Get it! Get it! Take his head!
Then, there are 3 goblin miners here as well.
Squash the ugly thing!
Try to take out each goblin miner with a jump attack and a couple of sword swings. Be sure to back up to block their attacks as well. With those goblins down, head back for collectibles. The chest here contains 25 silver pennies. Then, jump onto this lichen-covered rock to mitigate fall damage.
Slash
The advantage of jumping down, rather than taking the ladder down, is that you'll be farther away from the goblin miner, so you'll have more time to get ready to fight him. Break the crate and then grab the chest. The chest contains 15 silver pennies. At this point, you should have... From here, head up the ladder, go to where the 3 goblin miners were previously, and grab any mushrooms you might need. Our next objective is to extend the bridge across the chasm. Be wary of the goblin miner throwing explosives at you. That should not be an issue if you keep moving, though. Just head down the ladder and flip the switch to extend the bridge. When you go back up, don't fight the goblin miner over by the bridge. Instead, fight him out in the large open area. If you fight him by the bridge, you may fall into the chasm by accident. Normally, these 2 goblins don't both come to attack you at the same time. Usually, when you kill the goblin miner, the goblin guard will then come across the bridge to meet you. When that happens, don't engage the goblin guard on the bridge, or else you'll find yourself with a lot less room to maneuver, and you may accidentally fall into the chasm. Across the bridge is a new rock power-up, Freeze Rocks. Freeze Rocks freeze your enemies in place for several seconds, giving you that much time to slash them to death. You may need to throw Freeze Rocks at multiple enemies here, and then kill one, and then refreeze another in order to kill them all here. That is, if you want to use the Freeze Rocks most optimally.
Kill it!
Here, I was trying to kill this goblin miner without throwing a rock because I wanted to only have to pick up 1 rock pile in order to have full rocks. In other words, I wanted to leave this area with full rocks. With the area clear, go back for the extraneous items. There's a chest here that contains 50 silver pennies. There are also 5 cracked crates around this area. One of them contains a clump of mushrooms which restores 5 units of health. Don't miss the cracked crate on the wooden platform over by the wall. Also, don't miss the cracked crate and the chest on the elevated wooden platform over by where the freeze rocks are. The chest contains 10 silver pennies. It's also worth noting that rock power-ups in this level regenerate, so you can use them to farm rocks if you are low on rocks. At this point, you should have... Jump onto the lift and ride it 1 full rotation around to grab the pink courage point at the bottom. Jump onto the next lift when the first one is finished coming around again. This is made a bit more difficult by the weird camera angle. Our next objective is to jump to the high wooden platform. To do this, move Bilbo to the rightmost edge of the lift platform he's currently on. Then, walk him close to the bottom edge of the lift platform. If you then jump when the lift platform reaches the top of the lift's rotation, you should end up on the wooden platform. Then, head up and grab the green courage point and also grab the chest that contains 30 silver pennies. Don't break the crate just yet. If you jump on top of the crate, you can use it to reach a crossbar higher up, and from there you can grab a white courage point. If you've been following this walkthrough from the beginning, you should then have enough courage points to get a health upgrade. After you break the crate, you need to go back to the lift and then get onto the small beam to the left of the lift. I like to jump onto the wooden platform quickly after I jump onto the lift. If you wait too long, the camera angle will change and make the jump harder. Don't stand on the gray planks for too long. If you do, you'll plummet to your death. Then grab the chest, which contains 75 silver pennies and an antidote potion. Next, Go back up and follow the wooden beams around to the right for a green courage point and a chest that contains 50 silver pennies. Then, jump back onto the wooden beam next to the lift, and ride the lifts to the top. To get onto the third lift, jump up and press the key to move forward when it comes around. There's a goblin miner and a goblin guard at the top. When you attack the guard, the first thing you should do is jump attack to break his shield.
Slaughtered and bartered!
Then, just fight them like you normally would with jump attacks and sword swings.
Squash the ugly thing! Kill it!
I should probably also point out that if a goblin guard has no shield, he will block significantly less often. Anyway, with the goblins down, just head to the next area.
How am I supposed to lower this bridge? Now, those barrels might be useful.
We'll lower the bridge in a bit. For right now, head over to the end of the path and destroy the wereworms. Jump attacks with the stick can take out a few wereworms at a time. You can also throw rocks, or you can just stand by their holes and kill them before they pop up when you see the yellow triangles. If you're not going to kill them before they pop up, be careful not to stand too close to their holes, as they can nip you, and each nip deals 1 unit of health damage. This was something I did not do too successfully on this run. With all the wereworms taken out, jump up these rocks and grab the stones and the courage points. This can be a bit easier said than done because of the wonky camera angle. On the wooden platform at the top is a chest that contains 15 silver pennies. To get back down, you can just kind of slide down the wall. Now we'll go lower the bridge. However, before I do that, I'm going to go back for a mushroom. To lower the near half of the bridge, you'll need to move this barrel off of its base. Then, to lower the far half of the bridge, you'll need to throw a rock at the explosive barrel across the way. Occasionally, the explosion will take out the goblin miner there. If it does not, then take him down the same way you've been doing, with a jump attack and a sword swing or two.
Slaughtered and bartered!
Something to note here is the boulder blocking the passageway on the left. We'll be back here later. Keep this boulder in mind. With this nest of wereworms, it's very possible to take them all out with a single jump attack from the stick. I did take a fair bit of damage there, but it's not typically that difficult. Once you grab the 3 blue courage points on the wooden platform, you should have... Next, jump onto the lift and head down. Don't miss the pink courage point when you go to jump onto the second lift. I like to play it really safe here. Once you're on the second lift, jump down, grab the fire rocks, and use them to take out the goblin miner. With fire rocks, you can take out a goblin miner with a single rock. Then, kill all of the wereworms using the tactics I discussed previously. You can throw rocks, you can jump attack, you can kill them before they pop up. Just be careful not to stand idly by their holes. It's worth noting that this nest of wereworms is the largest nest in the entire game. There's a few more wereworm holes at the far end, so don't miss those. Once the wereworms are dead, climb the ladder to grab the chest. Somehow I missed a wereworm here. The chest up here contains 25 silver pennies and a health potion. Next, go back to where you were before and grab the fire rocks again. The rock power-ups in this chapter regenerate after a certain amount of time, so you can just grab them again for additional rocks, or to use the rock power-up again however many times you like. With the fire rocks, it's quite trivial to take out all of the goblins here. Just target, throw, until they're all dead. To kill the goblin miner on the raised platform, you'll either have to target him manually or climb up there and get him. Next, go back, grab the fire rocks, and use them to deal with a couple more goblin miners further up. With the enemies all taken out, you can go back for collectibles. These include 2 cracked crates with green courage points in them, a chest containing 50 silver pennies, and a red courage point. You can grab the red courage point by jumping up underneath the platform here. At this point, I am going back to grab more rocks because I want to leave the area with full health and full rocks. Once you grab the 2 blue courage points by the ladder, you should have... From here, head down the ladder and talk to the goblin guard at the gate.
Could you open this gate for me, sir? Please?
What are you? A little rabbit got away from the cooks? Well, little rat, if you want this gate open, you bring me the wart stone from Crogbit. Fix the broken dwarf lift and you can steal the wart stone from Crogbit. Stinking dwarf lift doesn't work. Fix it, little slinker.
If you don't have both full health and full rocks, I recommend going back to the area with the large wereworm nest to go grab some more. Otherwise, just follow the trail of blue courage points to the next area. From here, you need to head down this lift and get close to the control box of the wart lift so you can activate the next objective. Don't forget to break the cracked crate and also open the chest containing 45 silver pennies along the way.
I need to fix this lift to get the wartstone. Looks like it's missing a lever.
From here, go up and get back on the lift. Then, get to the center of the lift platform, wait until the lift platform reaches the top of the lift's rotation, and then jump up to grab the chain. If you jump across the chains, you'll find yourself back at the place where you lowered the bridge from earlier. However, now the boulder blocking the tunnel has magically disappeared, so now you can access that passageway. There's one goblin miner back here. He should be pretty trivial to take out with a jump attack and a couple of sword swings. Just remember to back up to block his attacks if he comes at you.
Squash the ugly thing.
Don't forget to kill the wereworm as well. Next, grab the mug key if you haven't already and put it into the mug lift control box.
I can ride that lift now.
Before you leave the area, there's also a chest that contains 20 silver pennies. Then, jump onto the mug lift and ride it to the top. Be careful of the goblin mage across the way that casts attack spells at you. Before you jump off, ride to the very tippy top and grab the pink courage point. Now we have to find the key for the grit lift. That's easy enough, just follow the blue courage points to the next objective. Don't waste your rocks on the goblin guard, since there's only one of him. Fight him at close range. Just jump attack to break his shield, and then fight him like you would a regular goblin miner. Once the goblin is down, there are a lot of pots and a couple of cracked crates in the area containing miscellaneous items. Make sure you break them all. I should probably also point out that if an enemy is blocking with their weapon, then Bilbo's jump attack with Sting will break that block instantly.
Another key.
Once you've broken all of the pots and the cracked crates and gotten the grit key, you should have... From here, head back to the grit lift control box and place the grit key inside.
I hope the goblins don't mind me starting all their contraptions.
Now you need to jump off of the lift in order to grab the pink courage point over here. Long jump to the platform, grab the pink courage point, long jump back, climb back up, and jump back onto the grit lift. Don't mess around on this portion of minecart tracks. If a minecart hits you, it will kill you instantly. Now, there's really nothing fun or interesting or even worthy of note that happens during this lift ride. It's just boring, 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 so please excuse me while I speed this up. Before you head to the next objective, come around here, long jump to the wooden platform, and then follow the wooden platforms around so as to grab the white courage point back here. Then, head back and follow the blue courage points to the next objective. Don't miss the cracked crate along the way. The two goblin guards here can't attack you if you stand at the back of this wooden platform, so what I like to do is take out the first one with rocks, and then engage the second one at close range. Generally speaking, in this chapter, I don't like to engage more than one goblin at close range at a time. I'm going to assume that you know how to kill goblin guards by now. The only thing I'll say is that you can jump attack them multiple times to just knock them over for easier damage. Next, just break all of the pots around the area and then grab the dim key.
these goblins heard of key rings?
Then, head out and follow the blue courage points to the next area. Make certain that you grab all of the courage points on these rocks here. In one of my practice runs, I got to the end of the level and was missing a single courage point. It turned out to be one of the courage points on these rocks. Next, I like to throw rocks at the goblins until there's only one left, since for this chapter I don't like to engage more than one goblin at a time. Just be wary of any explosives the goblin miners might throw your way. I should probably also note that minecarts don't travel this section of track currently, so there's no danger of a minecart coming along and killing you instantly here. If you've been following along from the beginning of the game, you should get another health upgrade right about now. Then, just engage the final goblin at close range. There are a couple of wereworms here, so make sure you take them out. Next, grab the golden chest, which contains 75 silver pennies. As a side note, a couple of the golden chests in this level contain hefty damage penalties if you fail their lockpick puzzles. This particular chest deals 5 units of health damage, so be careful of that. Once you grab all the blue courage points by the dim lift control box, you should have... Then, put the dim key in the dim lift control box.
Time to take a ride.
Now we have another very, very long, boring lift ride ahead of us, so please excuse me while I speed this up yet again. Next, go up and grab the wart lever, and then jump onto the chain to take you back down near the wart lift control box.
Here's the lever I need to fix that lift.
Then, head back down and place the wart lever to finally fix the wart lift. Next, head back up to the wart lift. Now, back by the wart lift, there are going to be 2 more goblin guards. So what I like to do is pull jump onto this cart, and then go back and grab the fire rocks from earlier. The fire rocks will make dealing with the goblin guards trivial. Now, if you're quick enough, you can manually target the goblin guard across the way and throw a rock at him to take him out. Before I go across the wart lift, though, I'm going to go down and hear what Ugslap the guard has to say, because we have fixed the wart lift, but still don't have the wart stone.
Crugbit stole my wartstone. I'll only open the gate when you get it. Now go.
With that out of the way, head across the wart lift and take out the goblin guard. That is, as long as you did not take him out already. If you have yet to take him out, then be careful because you'll be on a narrow pathway and you won't have much room to maneuver side to side. With the goblin guard down, there are some extraneous items to grab. The first set of extraneous items is in this pit. There are 2 pink courage points and 2 chests down here. The first pink courage point was on this beam, and then you can jump across the wooden platforms and get the golden chest. I don't like to make the jump from the 3rd wooden platform to the crossbar, so I like to just drop down and then grab the chest instead. This chest contains 75 silver pennies. If you fail this chest's lockpick puzzle and get poisoned, you can manually open up your inventory and select an antidote potion in order to cure yourself. Then, jump onto the crossbar, grab the pink courage point, and then go get the other chest on the left. This chest contains 30 silver pennies. The timer for this chest's lockpick puzzle is rather tight, so I did struggle with it a bit here. Then, head up and out of this pit. There's a ladder at the end of this pathway, and if you go down it, you will find even more extraneous items. These include silver pennies, a health potion, and a pink courage point. With these extraneous items now collected, head up the ladder and climb up the lifts. There's a green courage point at the bottom of the first lift and a green courage point at the top of the second lift, so be sure to grab those. These lifts travel at different rates, so you'll have to be careful when jumping from one to another. Jumping from the first one to the second one is pretty easy, but then jumping from the second to the third is harder. To jump from the second to the third lift, you'll need to wait until the lift platform you're on reaches the rightmost point of its rotation. Then, when a platform of the third lift comes by, jump up and press the forward key to grab it. Finally, jump off of the third lift and climb up the ladder to the little cave area where Crugbit is. On your way up, don't forget to break the 3 cracked crates.
Another sacrifice to the Goblin King!
Then you can take down Crugbit. For some reason, he does not seem to attack much. That may be because his AI is bugged. I'm not really sure about that. Then, grab all of the extraneous items around the area. Keep in mind that there are both cracked crates and pots that you can break open. Then, you can open the chest. Now usually, this chest did not give me as many problems as it did here, but for some reason on this particular run, I failed it twice.
This must be the Wartstone.
With the Wartstone finally in hand, head back down to where you got off the lifts. At this point, you should have... head across the next 2 bridges and grab the pink courage point. Then, head across the next bridge and kill the goblin mage.
Get it! Get it! Take its head!
Then, there's going to be one more pink courage point in a little inlet back here. Now at this point, you might be thinking that we need to go back down the lifts to get back to the gate. You would be wrong. All we have to do is drop onto this wooden platform here, follow the wooden platforms around, grab the green courage point and the chest, and then we can drop back down to near where the gate is. This chest contains 20 silver pennies. Finally, drop down to the floor below. Before you go give the Wartstone to Ugslap, fill up your health bar as close as you can to full with as many nearby mushrooms as you need or can find. Whenever you're ready, head back down the ladder and give the Wartstone to Ugslap so that he will finally open the gate for you.
I found your Wartstone. Now please, open the gate.
Oh, I'll open the gate.
Now we have a mini-boss of sorts on our hands. Ugslap has much more health and deals more damage than the standard Goblin Guard. He is more acrobatic as well and can avoid your attacks. Just fight him the same way you would a standard Goblin Guard. You'll have to be more patient though, as he'll take a lot longer to kill. In this fight, your jump attack meter will have plenty of time to recharge, so you should hit Ugslap with multiple jump attacks. This will give you good opportunities for free damage while Ugslap is on the ground. If you're really struggling with this part, you can either go back and find mushrooms, or you can drink health potions. You can drink a health potion by pressing a hotkey on your keyboard, which defaults to the number 4. The 3 cracked crates you see nearby contain 1 mushroom each. However, I like to save those until after the battle. If you haven't grabbed them already, there are 3 mushrooms and 10 rocks right outside the gate. You can back up and throw rocks at Ugslap if you're having trouble. That's pretty much everything I think I need to cover for this fight, so you'll hear from me again when this fight is complete. With Ugslap finally destroyed, I like to go back for more mushrooms and rocks, even though it's not entirely necessary. Again, these 3 cracked crates each contain a mushroom, so be sure to grab those if you need them. This chest contains 50 silver pennies. Be sure to break the 2 cracked crates here. They contain 1 red courage point each. Now, you can finally climb up to the jail where Balfor is contained. Before you go in, be sure to grab the chest here. This chest contains 25 silver pennies, a health potion, and an antidote potion. Then, head back to the jail and go inside. At this point, you should have...
Those guards look much too strong for me. I'd better not try to fight them. There's Balfor. I need to set him free.
First off, don't break any crates just yet. You need to wait until the goblin guard's back is turned and then move to the next hiding spot behind the cracked crates with the blue courage points. Generally speaking, it's a good idea to wait until this goblin guard is moving in the direction opposite the direction that you are moving. Then, you'll need to do the same thing again, but in this case the guard's back is already turned, so I just went ahead and went to the next hiding spot. Then, do the same thing one more time. This time, however, wait until the goblin guard is moving the same direction as you to move to the next hiding spot.
Let me out of this cage!
When the guard moves away again, talk to Balfor.
Is that you, Baggins?
Shh! Don't alert the guards.
Get me out of this cage!
How?
That switch opens the gate to this cell.
Yes, but what about the guard?
Once this gate is open, you won't have to worry about him anymore. The switch, before the goblins see you!
Hey, Goblin! You're just a filthy spawn of an elf! Shut up!
After you talk to Balfor, go take cover behind the nearby crate so you don't get spotted. Now for the tricky part. There are 3 goblin guards patrolling this area. You can see them all here, and you'll need to wait until all 3 of their backs are turned before you go and pull the lever in the distance. You'll need to wait until their backs will be turned for long enough that you can go and pull the lever without getting caught. This can take some patience, but in my case, the coast is clear now.
Freedom! Time to play! Baruch Hazard!
Many long years, those goblins forced me to work on these dwarf-built mining contraptions. Honor demands their destruction. Follow that path. The minecart will take you out of these goblin caves.
Now that Balfor has been freed, the next task is to go around and gather up all of the extraneous items around the area. You will want to break all of the crates, since some of them contain courage points. If you jump on top of these cracked crates, however, you can reach an alcove that contains more extraneous items. If you've already broken the crates, there's a box that you can push over to the wall instead. Next, you can throw a rock at the switch on the wall to make a ladder fall so that you can get onto the upper level. Then, before I head up to the upper level, I like to make sure I've broken all the cracked crates on the bottom level. There's a pink courage point in this cell, so don't miss that. Now, I'm just doing a final check to make sure I've broken all the cracked crates on the bottom level. Whoops. Anyway, there are more cracked crates and a lot more courage points on the top level. If you've been following this walkthrough from the beginning, then at some point during the top level you should get enough courage points to get another health upgrade. This chest contains 50 silver pennies and a training scroll. Now for a demonstration of the Master Stick tactics. If you attack 3 times in rapid succession, you can do this. And if you press and hold the attack button, you can do that. There are a couple more chests in another alcove up here. The chest on the left side contains 25 silver pennies. Then, the chest on the right side contains 50 silver pennies. There's also a skeleton key and a cracked crate in this area, so grab those before you leave. Don't forget to flip the switch on the wall as well. That switch opens up a cell on the bottom level that has more items in it. Now, with everything collected on the top level, you can go back down to the bottom level where you entered the jail and enter the cell you just opened. There are a few items in here, but they're all quite obvious, so I won't detail them all. That's everything inside the jail. Just head back out to where Balfor told you to go and follow the trail of blue courage points. There's really not much to say here other than just follow the path up, so I'll be back when we get to the next room. There are 3 goblin guards here. I like to kill the first 2 with rocks, and then engage the third one at close range. With all 3 of the goblin guards down, break both cracked crates and then grab all 3 blue courage points by the minecart. At this point, you should have... Next, get into the minecart.
The minecart. Looks like this is the way out of here.
Once the minecart is moving, you'll need to hit the 3rd switch you see with your sword. Switches appear at forks in the track. and striking them will cause the minecart to change direction from where it would otherwise normally go. Okay, the third switch is coming up, and I just hit it, and now the minecart will stop at a new location. Exit the minecart and pick up the extraneous items here. These include a pink courage point, a white courage point, a chest containing 40 silver pennies, and a Waters of Vigor potion. Remember the white courage point you should have grabbed earlier by jumping on top of a cracked box and then on top of a crossbar? If you broke the cracked box too early, you can head out onto this wooden platform and jump to the crossbar and then get the white courage point. However, then you'll have to take the long way back to the minecart. Once you get back into the minecart, you'll need to hit the second switch you see to get out of the goblin caves. If you miss the second switch, ride the minecart back to the starting point, ride it out again, and then hit the first 3 switches you see to get the same result. There's a cracked crate here that has the rest of the silver pennies in it. At this point, you should have... Next, head through the tunnel and over to the dark pool.
Ugh, what nasty, slimy things live here.
Then, you'll need to head over to the right. There's a health potion behind some rocks over there. I used a health potion by pressing the number 4 key here, both because I was already carrying the maximum number of health potions, and because I wanted to be able to pick up this health potion. To end the chapter, climb the rocks and grab the 1 ring.
Hello, what's this? A ring?
At the vendor, go ahead and buy the rock bag upgrade. You should have enough potions for the next chapter so long as you did not use a lot of them in this chapter.
Lost again in the tunnels, Bilbo found a gleaming golden ring. He put the mysterious ring in his pocket. Then he realized he was not alone. Bilbo introduced himself to the mysterious creature named Gollum. They agreed to play the ancient game of Riddles. The rules were simple. If Gollum lost the game, he would show Bilbo the way out. But if Bilbo lost, Gollum would eat a tasty dinner. Soon, Bilbo couldn't think of any more riddles.
Is it scrumptious?
What have I got in my pocket?
Not fair. Gollum.
Well, that's my riddle.
Hands, knife, string, or nothing.
All wrong. Now, show me the way out.
We must go and get something first.
What have I got in my pocket?
My ring! My precious! What has it got in its nasty little pockets? It must know the way out!
Bilbo followed Gollum out of the cave and found his friends on the other side of the Misty Mountains. But they were not out of danger. A pack of wild wargs attacked.
The trees.
The great eagles! Old friends, we're saved!
When they reached safety, Gandalf said goodbye to his old friend, the Lord of the Eagles. At the edge of Mirkwood, Gandalf announced he was leaving again. He showed them a trail through the forest and warned them not to stray from the path. Soon their supplies ran low. One day, the hungry dwarves saw wood elves feasting in the forest, and they left the path. The wood elves vanished. Bilbo found himself lost and alone.